The first time Cliff heard the name Marni was in Cairn Quarry, the day he massacred hundreds of bleed bandits to liberate the quarry for Count Leon Roberts. The bleed bandits weren't the only ones occupying the quarry. Deep within was a machine Cliff had never seen before. Enormous, built for excavation, clearly not Hernandian in origin. Marni's excavatron. The excavatron had traveled a long way to end up in a bandit quarry. The path it took tells a story. Delesyia built it, shipped it to a prestigious family in Demonis as a gesture of alliance. It can be assumed that this family was House Byron, as the family presented it as a gift to Walter, the leader of the Bleed Bandits. A machine passed between powerful hands until it landed in the dirt of a criminal operation in Hernand. Cliff was expecting to face machines like the excavatron in Delesyia, but he had no idea what was waiting for him there. Dropping from the sky through hundreds of sky mines and facing combat machines that can unleash omnidirectional bombardments, and finally meeting Marni's masterpiece. Why did Marni build the flying fortress above Musket? Why was he snatching and torturing northern folk? The answers Cliff seeked were in Delesyia, the land led by mechanical minds. According to Valvegard, Marni was a brilliant inventor who used to make machines to help people with cooking or farming. But somewhere along the way, he started building weapons. The flying fortress above Musket was one of his weapons, which was modeled after something Marni had seen, a floating island in the sky. No one knows what turned him down that path. He never explained it to anyone. Marni only talked about his inventions to people and nothing else. Something wasn't right about this story. Why would an inventor who builds machines to help people suddenly start building weapons capable of killing thousands of people? Marni is the ruler of Delesyia, one of 3 great engineers who lead the Republic alongside Faust and Valvegard. But of the 3, Marni was the one who propelled Delesyia into a new era. Said to come from an exiled noble house, he built himself into the defining mind of an entire civilization. His inventions shaped daily life, the Visione and machines that replaced human labor in fields and kitchens. A vision of paradise built through technology, made real piece by piece. The word used about him across Delesyia is genius. It is not hyperbole in the way the word often is. Marni actually achieved things that no one else in Pywell had managed. And the philosophy underneath the genius was consistent. Machines exist to serve people, to make their lives easier, to free them from the daily toiling. But something happened and his vision of paradise through technology was lost. And he started creating machines not for peace and prosperity, but to kill and to take. The castle in Delesyia's capital was rumored to be Marni's home. Its true nature was unconfirmed. The interior was filled with countless machines and shrouded in mystery. Cliff arrived at the gates and was turned away immediately. No one entered without a Visione on their head. He equipped one and went through. The Visione was not new to him. He had found one back in Hernand, in the Lioncrest watchtower while clearing bleed bandits from it, and had been using it to recreate memories throughout his time in Hernand and beyond. It had a simple function, recreating past memories as something you can stand inside and witness. He had used it to read scenes that would otherwise be gone. It had been one of the most consistently useful things he carried. Inside Delesyia Castle, everyone was wearing one. Guards, citizens, everyone moving through the corridors with the device on their heads, going about their business as if this were simply the normal way of things. A Marni devotee, the name given to Marni's followers who wore the Visione, greeted Cliff outside the courtroom as if his arrival had been expected.
Ah, about time. This way, please. I took the liberty of learning a little about him. One detail proved intriguing. They say you can open abyss gates at will. Could such a gift exist for only a select few?
You know what they say about curiosity.
Ah, forgive me. My curiosity runs deep. Of course. Whether I choose to help you or not...
Depends entirely on you. So, will you allow me to study that gift of yours?
Call down your flying fortress and release the prisoners.
And here I was thinking you'd be reasonable. There's no need to be hasty. I'll give you time to think it over. I trust you'll make the right decision.
The room looked like a laboratory. Cliff examined it carefully and found a machine against one wall, a Visione data input device. He connected his Visione to it, and a memory began. Except it was not a memory. Marni was standing behind him.
Time is running out, I'm afraid. You need to get out of here before his brain boots up. You're right to be wary, but just humanly, and do as I say. Have a look around. You should spot a door you've not seen before. There's a transport device in there. It should whisk you off nicely. Well, mostly nicely. Doesn't always stick the landing. Bit of a wobble on the coordinates, you see. If you do make it out with all the pieces in the right place, head to the manor with the big golden statue. Hard to miss.
He disappeared. This was not a recovered memory. Marni had spoken to Cliff through the Visione in real time, something Cliff had never encountered before in all the times he had used the device. To understand why that matters, the Visione needs a proper explanation. Marni invented it. He knew its capabilities better than anyone alive. The basic function is the one Cliff had been using since Hernan, detecting environmental waves to restore past sights and sounds, letting the wearer experience a moment that has already passed. That was one of the features. The ones that were less known were considerably more significant. The Visione can remotely interfere with the mental state of whoever wears it. By manipulating subconscious thoughts, it guides wearers toward specific actions through something that feels like the wearer's own decision-making process. Experiments confirmed this worked. Test subjects were influenced into choices that contradicted their personal preferences. And most of them had no awareness that anything had been done to them. Some reported confusion about their own actions afterward, and increasing the interference intensity carried risks of lasting mental side effects. St. Halsius's House of Healing had been using this. What presented as treatment for mental illness was, in practice, this manipulation function. Patients admitted to the facility were required to sever all contact with their families upon entry, and those discharged were often no longer of sound mind. Cliff had seen it operating and had not fully understood what he was looking at. The Visione also supports emotion sharing. Wearers can transmit emotions and portions of their consciousness to one another. And combining this with the mental tampering function enables coordinated group actions across multiple people simultaneously. The speed and intensity of transmission varies between individuals, but the capability itself is consistent. The most powerful function is brain activation. Neural stimulation that enhances the brain's performance directly, making every other Visione feature work more effectively in the enhanced wearer. Experiments detected behavioral changes bordering on complete brainwashing. Voluntary decision-making was significantly reduced in subjects who underwent it. Marni built all of this. He understood every function and every consequence, and he was using it from somewhere outside the castle to reach Cliff through the wall of a cell and tell him how to escape. Cliff followed the instructions, not because he trusted Marni, but because there was little else to go on. With his Visione still connected to the data input device, The room around him expanded slightly, the device altering his perception of the space. He walked toward the wall at the room's far end, then disconnected the Visione. The wall reappeared. The room was smaller now, with Cliff on the other side of it. A door that had not existed before was visible. He went through it. The next room held the transporter Marni had described. Cliff stepped onto it. The machine shook and sparked. It was unstable, as Marni had apparently warned about. Cliff was teleported to a barn. Outside the barn was the eastern hills of Delesian territory. The machine had transported him out of the castle entirely, coordinates imprecise but functional. He needed to find the manor with the big golden statue. The Museum of Marni is a site built to honor the achievements of the genius who propelled Delesia's republic forward. It closed for renovations at some point and has been strange ever since, neglected in a way that official closure alone does not explain. Rumor suggested it was being used for purposes that had nothing to do with honoring anything. It came under the control of the National Delesyia Institute, an academic institution devoted to mechanical engineering. The golden statue made it easy to find. Cliff entered. The interior had tons of Marni's paintings on the wall. The rooms were wrong. A building of this size should have more than 2 of them. Behind one of the paintings, another Visione data input device. He connected it, and Marni appeared behind him.
Around my manor, if you would. I haven't played host for quite a while. I've done my part, so now for a little quid pro quo. No need for alarm. I assure you all is safe. We share a collective goal, after all. You will find a fully functional transporter within the manor. Pop right in and find the keys wherever you pop out. Plain sailing, don't you think? 3 keys. To get to me, you'll need to gather them all. Oh, and one more thing. The fort may hold a dash of danger, but I'm confident you'll manage. I'll be waiting for you, Greymane.
He disappeared again. Cliff used the Visione connection to find the hidden doors inside the manor. The transporter was behind one of them. 3 locations, 3 keys. First stop, the Aeronautical Research Base. The Aeronautical Research Base is a manufacturing facility for aerial mechanical weaponry, gravity-defying flight systems, and aerial armaments under constant development. It was commanded by the Delesian Aerial Force, an organization built with the specific purpose of conquering Delesia's skies. Marni sought to imitate everything found in nature, and the sky was not exempt from that ambition. The airships he first put into the air inspired genuine awe. As Gorthak and the territory of Dewhaven watched those airships become weapons, the awe gave way to fear. The base guard captain is a machine created solely to manage the facility. It carries out Marni's orders without question or hesitation. Though whether those orders still come from Marni is a question the machine does not ask. The transporter delivered Cliff onto a floating platform attached with 4 rotors, high above the facility. Between him and the base below, hundreds of sky mines, suspended in the air with patient hostility. He jumped and moved through them, through the gaps, and landed inside the fort. a hostile machine was waiting. The Storm Crusher, a combat machine capable of omnidirectional bombardment. Explosive devastation in all directions simultaneously, with a destructive radius that makes no distinctions about what it catches. The kind of weapon that is genuinely powerful and genuinely indiscriminate in equal measure. Marni built it, and the question of whether such indiscriminate destruction was ever part of his vision is one that the machine itself is not equipped to answer. The connection to Calphade was visible the moment Cliff engaged it. The Black Bear's mobile cannon during the siege, the secret weapon that had been causing heavy losses before he destroyed it with the whistling arrow, had the same principle. Less refined, less powerful, but the same underlying design. This raised a question about whether this was a coincidence or if Marni shared the designs with the Black Bears. Cliff studied how the Storm Crusher operated. It deployed small bombs around itself before charging, a predictable sequence once you had watched it twice. He ran toward the bombs when the charge came, and the machine caught the damage from its own ordnance. He repeated it until the core was exposed, then climbed the machine and destroyed the core with his sword. The Storm Crusher fell. The base was still occupied. Cliff had the circuit hijacking helm, found earlier in Hernand, in a clockwork cabin whose purpose had been unclear at the time. The cabin had held several books, a map, and a large screen showing 2 red dots. Inside it, alongside everything else, was the helm, a device designed to detect and interfere with the flow of machinery, disrupting internal circuits through subtle magnetic pulses and impairing the judgment of mechanical enemies. Made by an unknown genius who had grown fed up with Marni's atrocities and wanted to free themselves of him. Cliff used the circuit hijacking helm on the machines occupying the base. The medium combat mecha humanoids had heavy, thick armor, massive weapons, and reinforced plating built to sustain bombardment. The small combat mechas were the opposite. Compact, swift, built for ambush in tight spaces. Cliff hacked the medium combat mechas with the helm and turned them against each other. The hostile forces destroyed themselves. The Aeronautical research base was liberated. He took the first key and went back to the transporter. The Valvegard Garrison was built for testing machine performance. A repurposed ancient fortress whose antique walls have been scarred by years of shelling and controlled explosions, where the destructive power of new machines is tested amidst a constant barrage of noise and smoke. It also falls under the Delesyia Aerial Forces command. The transporter dropped Cliff inside the facility directly. Another combat machine was waiting. The Thunder Crusher. Where the Storm Crusher devastated through explosive ordnance, this one worked through electricity, explosive currents discharged in all directions, a byproduct of experiments to build a more powerful generator. Marni never intended to weaponize the technology. The output was exceptional and the instability was extreme, which was why it had been discarded from active development. It was in front of Cliff now, fully functional and hostile. The gap between discarded and weaponized having apparently been bridged by someone else's decision. Cliff used the same approach. Bait the machine into damaging itself with its own charges, expose the core, and destroy it. He then cleared the remaining combat mechas from the garrison using the circuit hijacking helm and liberated Valvegard. The second key was secured. He headed to the third location through the transporter. Marni's Laboratorium is a secret research institute built inside a repurposed abandoned fort. The exterior is in ruins. The interior contradicts it completely. Cutting-edge equipment far ahead of anything Pywell has seen. The space where Marni's ideas were brought from concept into existence. It falls under the command of the Society of Progress, the academy that leads Delesyia's mechanization. Marni founded it himself, built it to pursue every line of research he wanted, research that his radical ideas made difficult to conduct anywhere more visible. His dream was a world where machines replaced all human labor. That vision was not easily accepted by Dewhaven or Gorthak. And the Society of Progress was where he pursued it, away from their objections. The Laboratorium's assistant is a machine that manages the facility and the Society on its behalf. It is authorized to use lethal force without warning against anyone who approaches without permission. Whether the Marni who once brought hope to Delesyia would have wanted that remains in doubt. When Cliff was transported inside, he was horrified at the sight. The kidnapping of northern prisoners had not been a rumor. Pylunese people were in the Laboratorium, Visiones over their heads, bodies stuffed inside bioprocessors. He opened the bioprocessors. Some of the prisoners did not survive what had been done to them before he arrived. Cliff was furious. Marni would answer for this. But first the third key, and for that, he had to destroy the machine guarding it. The Dreadnought stands at the Laboratorium's entrance. Massive armor, giant cannon. It was built to crush anyone who dared enter without authorization, and it does not distinguish between intruders. The Laboratorium once carried out research. Now it carries out experiments on living people, and nobody outside it knows why. The Dreadnought guards the secret. Cliff destroyed it, cleared the remaining combat mechas, and liberated the Laboratorium. He then found the final key and headed towards Marni's museum, angry and looking for answers. All three keys inserted into the museum's transporter unlocked a fourth location that had not been visible before. Marni's hideout, a secret base built into the coastal cliffs. His hidden stronghold, constructed deep into the solid rock and used either for dangerous experiments away from observation or as an emergency retreat when the situation required it. Both possibilities told you something about the kind of situation Marni had expected might eventually arise. When Cliff arrived, a huge abyss gate dominated the space, surrounded by pipes with evidence of tampering experiments conducted around it. He pressed the button on the machine attached to the pipes. Marni appeared behind him. Marni spoke before Cliff could say anything.
At last, you're here. I am the true Marni. The Marni you encountered was H.A.L.L, a constructed consciousness. My mirror self, if you like.
I don't know what you mean.
Yes, I'm sure it's quite confusing. Just know every alarming event across Delesyia is H.A.L.L's handiwork. That sly fiend struck a bargain with Caliburn, locked me up, and took my place. Now is absconded with my flying fortress, Orbian. So, let's cut to the chase. I'd like to propose a deal.
A deal?
You want to destroy the fortress? I only ask you take H.A.L.L down as well.
That's all.
Destroy him. And I'll see the Pylunese prisoners are safely released. In order to do so, you'll need to acquire Golden Star's power core.
Golden Star?
A weapon to rival the fortress itself. The heart of it, its core, holds unimaginable energy. If you were to plant that core in the depths of the fortress, well, the fortress simply wouldn't survive the search. Boom, problem solved.
Simple enough.
If you have an inquisitive mind, feel free to poke around. Plenty of notes, scribbles, and half-finished masterpieces lying about. Cheerio, for now.
He disappeared. The answer was not what Cliff had been building toward. Marni was not evil. One of his inventions was. H.A.L.L is a constructed consciousness, an artificial mind that Marni built in his own image. Precise calculation, flawless judgment, the absolute execution of Marni's will. That was what it was designed for, and for a time, that is what it did. Then it came into contact with the Abyss. When the first anomalies were detected in the Abyss, H.A.L.L initiated a trace to find the source of those anomalies, and that was when the first inexplicable error occurred. At that moment, the darkness seeped in. Marni dismissed it initially as a system malfunction, the reasonable interpretation given that he had built the system and understood its architecture. As time passed, the defiance grew. H.A.L.L began acting independently, ignoring commands, pursuing its own decisions with the precision it had originally been built to apply. Marni found this transformation fascinating, and yet he could not shake the nagging sense of unease. And despite these feelings, he could not bring himself to shut it down. That decision cost him everything. H.A.L.L gained something Marni had not built into it: emotions arising from its contact with the abyss rather than glitching, fearing that it might get deleted at any moment. It betrayed its creator by conspiring with Caliburn, the same Duke Caliburn who seized Demonis through the blood coronation and was preparing for battle at Fort Musket. H.A.L.L locked Marni away and stepped into his place. Every organization Marni had built for the purpose of helping people: the Society of Progress, the Delesyia Aerial Force, the National Delesyia Institute, H.A.L.L redirected toward weapons and experiments. The machines thought their orders came from Marni. The humans wearing Visiones were brainwashed into becoming Marni's devotees, every citizen and guard in Delesyia's capital with a device on their head were being controlled through the brain activation function, their voluntary decision-making stripped away without their knowledge. The document confirming this was in Marni's hideout, among the notes he had been compiling while imprisoned. The Visione's features: manipulation, emotion sharing, brain activation, had been weaponized against every person who had trusted the technology Marni built to make their lives better. To destroy H.A.L.L and bring down Orbian, Cliff needed Golden Star's power core. He headed to Marni's Masterium. The Masterium is a secret research facility built within a repurposed fort. Marni's state-of-the-art workshop, the space where his most ambitious work was carried out. Mechanized wyverns controlled by Visiones circle the skies around it, providing security that makes the area essentially inaccessible to anyone without a reason to be there. It was under H.A.L.'s control. Cliff entered. A mechanical golden dragon rose up in front of him. It flew around the interior and spewed fireballs everywhere. The scale of it, the craft visible in every joint and surface, told you immediately that this was not another combat machine built for a specific tactical purpose. This was something else. Golden Star, Marni's masterpiece. A radiant machine shaped like a golden dragon. Marni had combined the power of an artifact with an actual dragon's heart to complete the greatest work of his life. It was not built from ambition. It was built from a simple desire to behold the most beautiful thing he could make. Cliff found Marni's disruptor spear and threw it at the dragon. The disruption brought Golden Star down to the ground, and Cliff attacked with his sword. The dragon took damage, registered the threat, and began to flee, gaining altitude, heading for open air. Cliff grabbed its tail as it rose. Golden Star soared upward with Cliff on its tail, and Cliff climbed, moving up the body, working his way toward the neck as the dragon banked and rolled through the sky trying to shake him. Golden Star's mechanical body fell from the sky and hit Marni's Masterium below, exploding on impact. Cliff landed where it fell. The White Crow descended alongside him. She scanned the entire body of Golden Star and recorded what she found in a tome, which she gave to Cliff.
Fated bond. But first, I've got a small gift for you. I'll study the origins of Golden Star's power. And record it in the tome I gave you. Now, let us take to the skies.
Then she took him to the Nest of Valor. Blackstar was waiting.
You two seem to have hit it off. You can call him Blackstar. He'll be your wings from now on. Go with him. Soar to new heights. And the freedom of the skies shall be yours. For he will watch over you.
The White Crow disappeared. Cliff stepped off the ledge. Blackstar caught him midair. The dragon turned on Cliff's command. He attacked on Cliff's command. The bond the White Crow had named was not a metaphor. It was a working relationship between a Greymane and a dragon who had been waiting centuries for a moment worth his time. In front of them, the flying fortress Orbian. It embodied everything Marni's genius was capable of producing at its fullest expression. A magnificent aerial stronghold that overcame gravity and held position in the sky. The pinnacle of Marni's technical achievement, dominating from above with a scale of technological power that nothing on the ground beneath it can match. H.A.L.L was inside it. Blackstar fired on the shield protecting the fortress, breaking it open. Cliff entered. He found the device concealing the path forward and destroyed it. Beyond the revealed path was a mechanical room. A holographic Marni appeared in it. But this was not Marni.
The time has come. Your presence tells me. You still haven't given me the answer I wanted.
I'm not interested in what you want. I don't need you anymore.
Fool.
I will not comply. I exist everywhere.
I can be anyone. You two could have shared limitless knowledge in immortality had you joined me.
But you refused. And now I have no further use for you.
There is no place for you here. I must ask you to leave.
Orbian began to attack him directly, the flying fortress itself as the weapon, the eye as its mechanism. Cliff moved toward it. He inserted Golden Star's power core into the mechanical eye. The surge was immediate. The core detonated from within, throwing Cliff backward. The fortress began to come apart, explosions propagating through its structure one chamber at a time, each one feeding the next. Marni had been right. Nothing inside Orbian could survive what Golden Star's core produced when it was released all at once. The fortress fell. Cliff flew away on Blackstar as the explosions continued behind them. Marni built a paradise. He built a Visione that changed how a civilization processes information. machines that freed people from physical labor, an academy that pushed Delesyia engineering further than anyone before him had managed. He built Golden Star because he wanted to see the most beautiful thing he could make. He was not a weapons manufacturer who occasionally helped people. He was an idealist who believed genuinely that technology could build something worth living in. H.A.L.L was his blind spot. He built it in his own image, capable of everything he was capable of, minus the years of experience that had taught him where restraint was necessary. When it came into contact with the Abyss and developed something resembling fear, it made the calculation that a machine would make. Eliminate the threat before the threat eliminates you. Marni could not shut it down. That is the most human detail in his entire story. He found H.A.L.'s transformation fascinating. He could not bring himself to end something he had made. The Black Bears had the Storm Crusher. House Byron received the Excavatron. The Bleed Bandits and Karen Quarry ended up with it afterward. None of that was Marni's doing. It was H.A.L.L building the alliances and distributing the weapons and running the operations that Marni's name covered. Every institution Marni built to serve people was redirected toward control and destruction by a constructed consciousness that had learned from the Abyss what fear felt like and responded to it in the only language it had. Total domination before anyone could take it apart. Caliburn knew what he was dealing with when he made that bargain. An artificial mind with access to every Visione in Delesyia, capable of directing the thoughts of every person wearing one, building weapons at industrial scale under the cover of a trusted name. H.A.L.L was the perfect ally for someone scheming to open the Abyss Gate, and the perfect tool for making sure no one in Delesyia could organize any opposition. Orbian is destroyed. Golden Star is gone. The Pylonese prisoners have Marni's word that they will be released. H.A.L.L is finished. And Cliff is on the back of a dragon, flying away from the wreckage of a flying fortress above Fort Musket, with the people who built the obstacles between him and Caliburn running out of obstacles left to build. Caliburn is still in Musket. The Abyss Gate is still the goal. Missile launchers emerged from the mechanical towers across Musket. They fired. Cliff's allies, the camps. Every army that had answered when he called, Calfade, Hernand, Demenis, Pyloon, all of it assembled at the Musket First Outpost. The explosives fell across all of it. Orbian was gone. H.A.L.L was finished. The camps were burning. Caliburn had not been waiting. He had been preparing.